In a world filled with distractions and fleeting connections, many men struggle to stay true to themselves while seeking love and respect. So, what makes a woman miss you like crazy? It's about mastering your own strength, emotional control, and authenticity. This isn't about games, it's about becoming a man who commands respect and attracts genuine love. If you're ready for deeper connections and lasting relationships, subscribe to Love Diaries and let's explore how to become the kind of man who is never forgotten. The first key to understanding why a woman misses you like crazy is rooted in your ability to maintain your own life outside of the relationship. It's a paradox, really. The more self sufficient and independent you are, the more a woman feels drawn to you. It's not about ignoring her or playing games, it's about having a sense of purpose, ambition, and drive that doesn't depend on her presence to feel complete. Too often, men fall into the trap of attaching their happiness and sense of worth to the woman they're with. When you make her the center of your world, you unknowingly give away your power, and this is something women can sense. The Stoics taught us the importance of self sufficiency. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor, often reflected on the idea that true freedom lies in the mastery of oneself. If you have control over your own thoughts, emotions, and actions, then nothing can truly disrupt your peace. It's this inner peace that women find magnetic because it is rare. When a woman sees that your happiness and purpose are not dictated by her, it creates an air of mystery and attraction. She knows that you don't need her for validation, but that she is wanted by you. This dynamic where you are the man with his own life, dreams, and goals creates the space for her to miss you. Think about it. When you're fully engaged in your own world, whether that's work, passions, or personal growth, you become less available. This absence can make her realize just how much she values your presence. This isn't a strategy to play hard to get. It's simply about being a man who has his own life, a man who is fulfilled in his own right. So, the next time you find yourself giving in to the impulse to spend all your time trying to please or entertain her, take a step back and ask yourself, what do I want out of this moment? And how does this contribute to my life's purpose? This question will help you shift from a position of dependency to one of strength. It's only when you stand strong in your own life that you create the emotional space for someone else to miss you. The second key to making a woman miss you like crazy lies in your emotional control and ability to be calm under pressure. In the fast paced, emotionally charged environment of modern relationships, the man who maintains his composure is not only respected, but admired. How many times have you witnessed or been part of arguments where emotions escalated, and what was once a minor disagreement turned into a full blown conflict? Often, it's the man who loses his emotional equilibrium that ends up compromising his position. But a man who can remain calm in the face of adversity, not because he is indifferent, but because he chooses how to respond, becomes a rock in the storm. This is an example of true masculine strength. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, taught that while we cannot control the actions of others, we can control our reactions. This wisdom is crucial in relationships. When you maintain your emotional composure, you show that you have control over yourself, and this radiates confidence and maturity. In any relationship, women are naturally drawn to the man who isn't rattled by external forces. This doesn't mean suppressing your emotions, but rather exercising the wisdom to express them in healthy, rational ways. When you remain level headed, even when she's upset or a situation gets tense, you signal to her that you are capable of handling life's complexities. You become a pillar of stability. A woman, particularly one who's been accustomed to emotionally turbulent environments, will often miss the steady presence of a man who knows how to stay calm. It's not about being emotionless or detached, but about choosing the moment when to express vulnerability and when to hold your ground. When you're able to be patient, controlled, and thoughtful in your responses, you become someone she can rely on, someone she won't easily forget. This ability to stay composed under pressure will make her miss you the moment she realizes how rare it is to find a man who remains emotionally grounded in all circumstances. The third key to a woman missing you like crazy is the balance between attention and space. It's often tempting to be overly attentive, especially when you're genuinely interested in someone. You think, the more I show up, the more she'll appreciate me. But there's a fine line between being present and overwhelming her with constant attention. In fact, the more you give without giving her the space to miss you, the more likely you are to push her away. Relationships, like all things in life, require balance. When you're constantly available, your presence starts to feel expected rather than desired. The ancient philosopher Epictetus taught us about the importance of not being attached to external outcomes, but rather to find peace in our own actions. When you stop seeking constant validation and instead engage in life with purpose, you allow the relationship to grow in its own time. This is not about playing games, it's about understanding the importance of your own time and energy. By maintaining your own schedule, pursuits, and goals, you create natural moments of absence that allow her to reflect on the value you bring to her life. When a woman sees that your time and energy are valuable not to be taken for granted, she will begin to appreciate your presence more. It's during these moments of absence that she will start to miss you. She'll begin to realize that she values not just your companionship, but the emotional space you give her, the mystery you maintain, and the respect you show by not overwhelming her. The law of attraction in relationships is often about pulling back just enough to create a longing for closeness, rather than smothering her with constant contact. When you give her the space to miss you, she's able to reflect on the depth of your connection, which leads to greater emotional attachment. Think about the greatest relationships throughout history. Many of them thrived not because of constant presence, but because there were moments when both partners were able to focus on their own lives and passions. Those moments apart are what made the reunion so much sweeter and filled with more meaning. The fourth key to a woman missing you like crazy is rooted in your ability to lead and remain consistent in your actions. Many men falter here because they think that being emotionally available or affectionate will win her heart. While these are important, what truly holds a woman's attention is your ability to lead not just in the relationship, but in your life. A woman desires a man who has direction, purpose, and strength of character. She wants to feel secure in the knowledge that her partner is not only capable of guiding the relationship, but is also a steady, unwavering force in his own life. Leadership isn't about being domineering or controlling, it's about having a clear vision of who you are, where you're headed, and what you stand for. This is what creates attraction and respect. When a man is self-assured and consistent in his actions, his presence becomes magnetic. You don't have to be perfect, but the key is in your ability to stay true to yourself and your values, even in the face of challenges. Think about history's greatest leaders. They were not the ones who bent and swayed with every passing whim, they were the ones who maintained their course even when it seemed difficult. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, wrote extensively about the importance of maintaining one's integrity and staying true to his own purpose. In relationships, this translates into showing up consistently not just when it's convenient, but when it's difficult and when you're tested. If you're the type of man who is reliable, follows through on his promises, and acts with purpose, you naturally build trust and admiration. A woman will begin to miss you not only because of your presence, but because of the way you lead your life with strength, consistency, and commitment. She'll realize that you are the one she can count on, and in her eyes, your consistency becomes rare and valuable. When you show that you are not swayed by external forces and stay true to your word, it cultivates an emotional depth that cannot be easily forgotten. It is your steady leadership that will have her longing for your presence when you're not around. The fifth key to making a woman miss you like crazy is the cultivation of your own emotional depth and vulnerability. While society often tells men to hide their emotions, the truth is that emotional depth is one of the most powerful tools a man can have in his relationship arsenal. However, this depth should be practiced with balance. True vulnerability is not about wearing your heart on your sleeve at all times, nor is it about making every conversation emotionally charged. It's about being able to open up at the right moments, to express your thoughts and feelings without fear of judgment, and to show her that beneath your strength, you also have a deep well of emotion. This is where many men make a mistake. They mistakenly believe that they must always be strong, always be the rock, and never show any weakness. But emotional strength is not found in suppressing your feelings. It is found in being able to express them wisely and at the right time. In ancient philosophy, particularly the Stoics, there was an understanding that emotions should be controlled, but never repressed. Epictetus said, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." The ability to open up emotionally to someone you care about shows her that you trust her, that you value the relationship enough to share your true self. This builds a sense of connection that goes far beyond surface level interactions. Women crave emotional intimacy, and when they see that you can express vulnerability without losing your sense of strength, they feel a deeper bond with you. When you're emotionally available in a way that feels authentic and not forced, it invites her to be vulnerable in return. And this is the key: vulnerability in relationships doesn't make you weak, it makes you real. When you allow her to see this side of you, and when you can balance your strength with emotional depth, you show her that you are not afraid of connection. This emotional depth becomes something she misses when you're not around because it is a rare and valuable quality. The man who can be strong and tender, wise and vulnerable, becomes someone she knows she cannot easily replace. The sixth key to a woman missing you like crazy is the ability to challenge her intellectually and emotionally. In many relationships, there comes a point when things can become routine, predictable, and even stagnant. One of the most common reasons for this is the absence of intellectual stimulation. A woman is drawn to a man who can challenge her thinking, who has ideas and passions that go beyond the ordinary. This doesn't mean you need to be a genius or have all the answers, but it does mean you must engage with her on a level that stretches her mind, pushes her to think, and sparks conversation. Women, like men, seek partners who can help them grow not just emotionally, but intellectually. When you can provide her with thoughtful perspectives, fresh ideas, and engage in stimulating discussions, you keep her interested and intrigued. Historically, the most successful relationships were built not only on love and affection, but also on respect for one another's intellect and ideas. Cleopatra and Julius Caesar, for example, were not just political allies, they shared intellectual and philosophical interests, which formed a deep bond between them. In their time, they were both known for their sharp minds and strategic thinking. Intellectual and emotional challenge creates a dynamic of respect and admiration that keeps the attraction alive. In relationships today, when you stop challenging her, when your conversations become repetitive and mundane, she starts to lose interest. But when you push her boundaries, engage her in meaningful ways, and show that you're constantly evolving as a person, it forces her to step up as well. This intellectual and emotional growth can make her miss you when you're not around. She begins to realize how important your perspectives and discussions are to her, and how much she misses the intellectual energy you bring to the relationship. So, the next time you're with her, don't shy away from deeper conversations. Challenge her to think bigger, to question more, and to engage in ideas that matter to both of you. This will not only deepen your connection, but will make her miss the mental and emotional stimulation you provide when you're not around. The final key to making a woman miss you like crazy is your ability to embrace your own individuality and remain unapologetically true to who you are. This is perhaps the most powerful element in any relationship, and it's what truly sets men apart. So many men fall into the trap of molding themselves into what they think a woman wants, whether it's by changing their behavior, their appearance, or even their values. But the truth is, when you try to become someone you're not, you lose your authenticity, and authenticity is one of the most attractive qualities a man can possess. Throughout history, some of the most revered figures were those who maintained their integrity and stayed true to themselves, even in the face of pressure to conform. Marcus Aurelius, who was not just a philosopher but an emperor, wrote in his Meditations about the importance of accepting one's true nature and living according to it. His thoughts reflect the Stoic ideal that you must live a life of virtue, grounded in truth, and not be swayed by the expectations or opinions of others. In relationships, when you're comfortable in your own skin, when you embrace your quirks, flaws, and strengths, you set the foundation for something real and lasting. This confidence in your own identity is magnetic. A woman misses you not because you've changed to fit her needs, but because you've stayed true to who you are, because she's found something in you that is rare: authenticity. So, the next time you find yourself questioning who you are in the context of a relationship, Remember this: it's not about being perfect or meeting expectations. It's about being yourself unapologetically. Embrace who you are and watch how the woman who truly respects you will miss you in ways you never imagined. This is how you build lasting, deep connections. This is how you win her heart.